Alright, good morning, y'all. We're back. I know it's been a week, literally a week, and of course, it would be easy to say that that was largely me not feeling so well, which was true to some extent, but it goes a little bit deeper than that, unfortunately. And I'm gonna go ahead and start the video with this. It's February 19th, of course, and this is actually the 15-year anniversary of my father having been taken off of life support. It's not a very easy time for me in February, and it's not even just that it's funny that I say that it was a week ago because of that being my last video. The day after that was actually the 3-year anniversary of my grandmother having passed away, which really was tough as it was, because I still, even to this day, will have a lot that I have to work through when it comes to everything that happened with my father. And then you add my grandmother to that, which, even more traumatically than that, I actually saw that as that happened. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you can imagine that sort of thing not being a very, very pleasant experience, to say the least. But, I'm not going to dwell on that so much. I just wanted to bring that into the light real quick, especially just not even so much explaining my absence, but just putting it out there, because it's just, again, it's not a very easy point of the year for me at this particular time, because, it just, I mean, for those of you that have actually dealt with loss like that, I'm sure you know. And for those that haven't, I mean, I hate to say it, at some point you probably will, but hopefully that doesn't happen for you anytime right away. But it's just a part of life, unfortunately. And I'll definitely be working through it, and I'm getting better. What helps is that I have gotten some support from y'all. The improvement in viewership that I've gotten over time has been amazing, and now that I have the means to do this to the full extent that I'm capable of, I just am looking forward to doing more to earn you and more of you to come through and hopefully check me out. Hopefully I do well in earning y'all's viewership and everything else that comes with that. But with all that aside, I'll go ahead and move along to the main subject matter of the video. Not that that's supposed to be overshadowed in any way, but it's funny because within the last week there have been some more disturbing details revealed in regards to the Vince McMahon scandal. And I gotta say, it's alarming, to say the very least, as if it wasn't already. And needless to say, I honestly feel like all of the gross, disgusting details that have already been revealed, it just it was just hard to imagine, how it was going to get much worse than that. And that's, not even getting into the deeper aspect of that. Like, we're not even into the full-blown detail of that shit. And thank God for that, because I don't know that I would want to know too much more than what we've already had revealed. Now, in addition to that, we've got Stephanie McMahon's name being drugged through this, and it's not overly surprising that this is the case, because, I mean, she was there. Much like many of the people that were there that either went through and endured what's happened. Those that were there and witnessed it, or just knew anything about it whatsoever. I guess what I'm trying to say is, one way or another, regardless of your involvement, you're likely going to end up in some kind of a sticky situation one way or another, and that's just putting it mildly. And that's, if nothing else, for the fact that you think about all the stuff that happened with John Laurinaitis, and how he's been brought into the picture, and then of course the Garcia twins, and them having to make the statement that they made, because and I guess I had forgotten about this. It's the fact that he's their stepfather. Just what's that got to be like for them? I mean, you got Nikki, who has been still in the limelight. She's got the show with Blake Shelton and Carson Daly, Barmageddon. I had to think about the name for a second. And I know she's got a couple of other things that she's had out there. I want to say she's on America's Got Talent, or at least she has been. I don't know if that's something she still does now, but she has been seen on there. Brie, on the other hand, of course, still married to Bryan Danielson, and there's been a little talk about her and Nikki ultimately appearing on AEW. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but, I got to imagine that can't be something that's going to be anytime right away. One, because of the fact that we're getting towards the point where we're not far from the end of Bryan Danielson's time as a full-time wrestler. So that's something to be considered there as well. But he's probably had to deal with that on some level, because Bree's his wife, so he's hearing something about it, and he's probably having to be there for her to some degree at least, and then having to explain that to their children. I mean, my God, that in and of itself. But I'm going on a bit of a tangent with that, because that's how crazy that is, to think about. And then you also think about how, and maybe this is kayfabe, but I remember an episode of Raw where, Stephanie is yelling at Vince about, stuff that was done at her expense, at his hands, and I'm not sure exactly if that was work or shoot. I don't want to know the truth behind that, to be honest, especially at this point. But one thing I do know, and actually it's a couple things, and I want to go into this, and you notice that there are 3 McMahons in the thumbnail here. I'll go into that here in just a moment, and that's how I'll end this. But it's just crazy to me, because she was one of those doing his bidding. And much like Laurinaitis, much like anybody else that was there, and I'm pretty sure to some degree Triple H was too. I mean, I don't know to what actual extent that may be, but, I mean, he's been brought up in a lot of this too, because there's speculation that he may not make it out of this, will Triple H, which is crazy. And then you factor in Shane. I mean, he came back a number of years ago, and we all remember what that promo was like. I mean, what was said then. I mean, I don't know that I need to remind y'all, but go ahead and check that out, the Shane McMahon return. But it's like, we already more than confirmed the black box was real. Now, whether or not it was actually Shane that did save him from it, which I could see whether it was, it didn't seem to matter much, and it doesn't now. And obviously Shane had to have done some of Vince's bidding to some degree as well, but that particular segment was him revealing that he protected Vince. Now, again, whether or not that was shoot or not, we'll never really know, and maybe we're better off not knowing. But I'm going to just end it on this. It's just funny because he's literally the one McMahon we haven't heard about at all through any of this. Aside from Linda, obviously, but when was the last time anyone mentioned Shane? My one and only question. When was the last time we talked about Shane? That's all I got. Y'all know what it is. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out.